Is this a good time? Dottie said you wanted to see me.
Yes, have a seat, Paul. How are you holding up?
I'm managing.
Good.
Well, I think we're doing great, considering the circumstances. Everyone's banded together in ways I didn't expect, and the students seem to be responding positively.
Has anything particular stood out as a game changer?
Having office hours every day really seems to be paying off. The students are responding well to conversations with their favorite teachers on a regular basis.
That was your idea. You must be very proud.
It's great when we see positive results, especially since I'm not necessarily involved with the students on a day-to-day basis. I mean, what I do in athletics obviously affects them, but this one little change seems to have helped a lot of kids.
You've done a lot of good work over the years.
And I will continue to do so.
That's why we're really here.
To talk about my track record, I really think we should focus on the future.
We are. I'm sure you know we've passed new bylaws.
I'm aware you mentioned that at the meeting.
The new policies mean that we need to make changes, and some will be more difficult than others. For instance, we've decided to take another look at the athletic department.
Really? We've already terminated Coach Barrett and Maglenicki. I don't know how many more people we can afford to lose.
The idea is to purge the system of anyone who was aware of the coach's activities. I'm sure you can understand that.
You're going to expel the students?
Of course not. We're looking at staff, anyone who was aware of their infractions.
How can I help?
Paul, I don't know how to... Okay, I'm just going to come right out with it because there is no easy way to say this. We will not be renewing your contract end of year. You have done a tremendous job. The board thinks it's time for a change, and I'm sure this will lead to new and exciting chapters for all parties.
I don't believe this.
We're happy to give you references.
That say what? We ended his tenure because of recent scandals?
We'll say it was a district-wide policy change. Everyone will understand.
Oh, of course everyone will understand. Everyone reads the paper. Everyone knows exactly what's going on. What they don't know is I'm the one who brought these matters to your attention.
The students did, Paul, and the students' parents.
And me. When Coach Barrett's assistant came to me about the coach's actions, I didn't sit idly.
There is some concern that you knew all along.
That's
not
ridiculous. There's no way I could have known.
Some people find that hard to believe.
Then let them talk to me. I've done nothing wrong. I'd be happy to explain.
The time has come and gone for that. We need to talk about your
What am
replacement.
I, guilty by association? I mean, sure, I talked to the coaches, but I wasn't micromanaging their actions.
Maybe you should have been. Do you actually know when Coach Barrett started calling the lacrosse team lesbians and other homosexual slurs?
All I know is the minute I found out, I was on my way to your office.
After some parents and students had already come forward.
I managed the activities in 4 schools. I'd never see my home if I went to every game and practice. This was the first I heard about it.
Managing the entire athletic department is a great responsibility. And the parents feel you shirk those responsibilities.
You had a meeting about me with the parents?
Not exactly. We took the temperature in the room and decided that it would be best to part ways, for everyone. Coach Maglenicki's sexual abuse case is going to trial this month. It is time to remove ourselves from that stigma.
No one thought Coach Maglenicki was a threat to anyone. The allegations against him came out of nowhere.
You saw no warning signs?
None, and he's fighting the charges.
So you think he's innocent?
I did not say that. I would never say that.
Then why is it so important to repeat it over and over again?
Because we live in America, where we're innocent until proven guilty.
I hope you're not repeating that to your staff. They're going to think you're in his corner.
Even our press releases say we have to let the wheels of justice turn. Why are you trying to turn this on me? We can't just come out and say he's guilty. What kind of message would that send about the justice system?
He is innocent until proven guilty. But saying things like no one would have known doesn't help your cause. Someone should have known so the victim didn't have to carry this burden for so long. Surely, she spoke to someone before the family sued him.
Did someone come forward about that? Did someone tell you they knew?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Is that why we're here? Because someone on my team knew? I have a right to know if that's the case.
It wouldn't surprise anyone. After all, there were so many well-kept secrets held by your staff.
Oh, I resent that. There were no reports until her parents took her out of school. The police have asked, the lawyers have asked, and no one's come forward.
Did you hire both of these coaches?
I was one of many who did, including you, Mrs. Kipple.
As I remember, both came highly recommended by you.
And their school districts?
They had moved schools multiple times. That was a warning sign you missed.
Coaches move around until they find the right school system.
Catholic priests do as well.
The allegations against Coach Magelnicki haven't been proven.
In the eyes of the parents, that's not true.
I'm not saying the allegations aren't god-awful, but how do you know what the parents think? Are you actually engaging them in this conversation? Our department was asked to avoid the topic whenever possible. You're going to tell me you're talking to parents about this?
I speak to the parents every day, through words that are spoken and words that are inferred. These allegations have stained the reputation of our schools. There is no denying it.
That's why we need to stand together and support the students who have concerns or know the alleged victim. We can only support the students in our circle by being positive role models.
How can you be a role model after hiring these two coaches?
We all hired them and worked side by side with them. There were no red flags until recently.
Some say that's because of poor management.
I haven't done anything wrong! Look, I treat the children here the way I want my children to be treated. I am supportive, respectful, someone they can turn to, and I try to hire a staff that will do the same, but no one could have seen this coming.
Paul, I wish there was another way. But the decision's been made.
If I'm going down for this, we all should. There were at least 8 faculty members on their hiring teams. Why am I the only one being held accountable for their actions? What about you? You socialized with Coach Barrett, if I'm remembering correctly, but you're not being terminated? What kind of message does that send?
If you would have come to us sooner.
Oh, life doesn't unfurl like a movie. I didn't know these coaches would break rules. I came to you when I had proof. Had I held back, I'd understand.
I'm sorry, Paul.
I don't have a crystal ball, Sally, but I do run a tight ship. I've won multiple awards for myself and our teams. Our district is the top performing district in Virginia.
No one is denying how much you've done for us in the past.
In the past. Like all my good deeds are forgotten now that there's some unpredictability. Shit happens all the time. This is life, and we carried on. We were football state champs this year while all of this was happening. We kept it together. I kept it together.
It's just in this day and age, more is required. You have to be accountable.
I'm aware we're trying to build a new world for Generation Z. Send the right message, I get it. But how is ousting someone who has worked hard, who's always kept his side of the street clean, the right thing to do?
Tolerating abusers in any way is no longer acceptable.
I asked you to terminate in both cases immediately. I didn't stand in the board's way. What these coaches did was wrong.
I'll note that in your files. But the decision has already been made.
Will everyone be notified today?
Yes,
Are you issuing a press release?
we'll have to.
I'd like final approval.
I can't allow that.
It will be between you and me. Please, Sally, I've got a family. My wife teaches at Mill Lake and my kids attend Barclay. Throw me a bone. I'd like to tell them what comes next. The press has been all over this.
I can't control the press.
You could at least make a fucking effort.
I'll try to get you a copy. We can say that it was a mutual decision if you want. That might make it easier for you.
It wasn't. And I don't want anyone pretending otherwise.
then we'll simply say that we decided not to renew your contract at the end of the season.
How did I get here? Why did I go on and on was all I could think when I left. Why would my opinion be more valuable than a blade of grass to these people? Why should I expect to maintain my status and success when so many have fallen? My wife said I've always known when to draw the line. I've always upheld strong principles and moral code. She said we should just give it time because surely the tide would turn in my favor. We told the kids people might try to engage them in conversations they shouldn't hear. We didn't know what people would say, and at 12 and 14, the kids were old enough to register ill will, but not necessarily understand it. We couldn't hide them away. We had to send them to school just like I had to go to work every day. I held my head high and said thank you to everyone who said they were sorry to hear about my situation. And I'll tell you, some days it was remarkably harder than others. I would wonder if they really felt bad or were just saving face. Calls from the press began to flood in. Local papers anxious to tell their region's story before the statewide paper swooped in. My lawyer, yeah, had to hire one of those. He told me the only words I should share with these publications were no comment. And I did. Every day, we'd wait for the next article to appear, dreading the spin. Would they mention how much I'd done for the program, or did they, like the district, think I was wrong? Then the Globe called. Randy Lewis, a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist to be exact. Well, he wouldn't take no comment for an answer, and my lawyer said we should just talk to him openly, in the hopes he would tell my story so well there'd be no room for variation later on. We were relieved when we received our early copy, and the headline read "Tainted Leader" or "Scapegoat." We didn't think a professional journalist would write an article so clearly in my favor, but he did. He did because not one person in our community had a negative thing to say about Paul Blinder. The piece was so opinion-swaying, the school called to renew my contract. And I accepted, with no hard feelings. Even though things would never be the same.